Alright guys, today I'm gonna throw a double feature, the first movie of the day. I don't really want to watch this movie, but I'm just gonna watch it just to review it for you guys. And because I'm pretty curious about this overall, the Emoji movie in 3D, so heard nothing but terrible things about it. Let's see how it goes. Let's go in. What did I get myself into?
Suit up and prepare to be amazed.
Alright guys, I saw the Emoji movie in 3D. Don't worry, I did not pay anything for it. I got a free ticket to it in 3D, so I said, why not? And, you know, I'm gonna be honest. Usually when I review films, I review it like the day I see it, or a day after I see it, like around that timeline. But this is one of those movies where I've just kind of been lazy to kind of review, and it's already been a week since I saw this movie, and this whole entire week I didn't even want to review this movie. In fact, there was a point where I kind of didn't want to review this movie at all. But I'm gonna do it just to tell you guys, probably everything that I'm gonna say, you probably already heard from other people that watched this movie. But, the Emoji movie. So in the Emoji movie, we have a emoji named Gene, who is voiced by TJ Miller. And basically, when they put him in the emoji box for the first time, he actually starts making many different faces, not the meh face that he's supposed to make. He sends out the wrong emoji. Everyone's after him. He has to go to this hacker called Jailbreak, and yeah. I don't feel like wasting much time on this review, but Emoji Movie, it's one of the worst movies of the year. Not exactly the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's definitely a bad movie. And, you know, where to start with this movie? I guess let's start with things that I did like about this movie, because there are a few things that I quite liked about this movie. I like the animation. The animation is kind of cartoony because it is Sony Animation, and they do some pretty cartoonish looks to their movies, like Cloudy with Chance Meatballs and Hotel Transylvania. But I still kind of like the smooth animation to these emoji characters, and I think, I'm gonna be completely honest, like, to the actual humans in this movie, they kind of look almost like Pixar quality animation. And the voice acting isn't that bad, actually. And if I were to put in the word, I would say decent. Patrick Stewart as the poop emoji, he probably has only about 5 to 7 lines in this movie. And they're not great lines, and they're not really that funny either, but he makes his dialogue work. And I'm not going to blame the cast members for anything of this movie, because even though, yes, the writing is pretty bad, they're just working with it. They're working with what they were given, and they're just doing their job. So they really can't change the dialogue or anything. They're just trying to do their jobs, and the voice acting is still quite decent. Even though the dialogue is terrible, I think that the voice actors are pretty good. I like TJ Miller, even though he's not funny in this movie. Anna Faris is actually quite surprising. I didn't know that she was the jailbreak emoji. I thought she was going to be a different character, but she was okay. Again, Patrick Stewart was really good. James Corden as the high five emoji. Again, he's a good. I like him in this movie. I like his voice acting, but his character is just annoying. But I just can't blame him for playing this annoying character. Again, he's just doing his job. And the last thing I liked about this movie was a scene, probably the only scene I liked about this movie. It's when they go to a Just Dance app and they start dancing around to this music, and it's actually kind of entertaining in a way. It's actually the best scene in this movie, and then they go back to what this movie is about, and you're just dreading through the end of this movie. But then they have a dance party at the end, so I guess it's good. Now to the things that I do not like about this movie. The humor in this movie is really bad. I did not laugh at all. I did chuckle about 2 to 3 times in this movie, and the little girl behind me giggled, but all the other people in the theater were quite bored and they never laughed. Like, the jokes are literally so forced into this movie, and don't get me started on the puns that they do in this movie. The writing in this movie is really bad. It's not good at all. I think that they got some 7-year-old to write the script for this movie because it's really immature and it's not funny. Like I mentioned before, it's really bad. Not only that, but it tries to rip off many animated films that are loved in the last few years. Wreck-It Ralph. I recently rewatched Wreck-It Ralph just because of this movie, and it literally has the same exact plot, except Wreck-It Ralph actually does it good. It has heart, it has good writing, it's actually charming and funny, something that the Emoji Movie was not. I mean, in Wreck-It Ralph, Ralph is a bad guy, and he's meant to be a bad guy, but he wants to be a good guy, and people don't think that that's right. And Gene, he's a meh emoji, and he wants to be more than a meh emoji, so he kind of goes on a adventure to change who he is, similar to what Ralph did. And not only that, but I'm just gonna say that one of the main characters in this movie has the same exact twist that Penelope had in Wreck-It Ralph, like the same exact twist. By character twist, I mean that we're first introduced to a character in this movie as a certain character, and then, like, towards the end of the movie, you find out who this character actually is. I'm not gonna say who this character is in this movie because this is a spoiler-free review, but I guess you could kind of predict who it is once you watch the movie. I'll give you a hint though, it's a main character and it's an emoji that doesn't even exist, so there's your hint. Aside from ripping off Wreck-It Ralph, it rips off another one of my favorite Disney movies of all time, the recent Inside Out, which you basically, in Inside Out, you go into the mind of Riley, who we get introduced to different emojis, not emojis, emotions, I'm sorry. And then here you go inside the phone of this kid and you get introduced into these emojis and the emoji world and everything. And the character Jailbreak, you cannot tell me that they definitely did not copy off the Lego Movie's Wild Style. Exactly, almost the same exact design. After Sony released two of my favorite movies of this year, Baby Driver and Spider-Man Homecoming, I was more than ready to forgive them for the abomination of a film called Resident Evil The Final Chapter, which, by the way, it's the worst movie I've seen this year. I didn't review this movie because I didn't see it in theaters, but I did see it here at home, and I absolutely hate that movie. I'm just gonna say, because I didn't review it, I'm gonna give you my score. My score for Resident Evil The Final Chapter is a 1 out of 10. It's such a terrible movie. But then after seeing that Sony released the Emoji Movie, I don't want to forgive them anymore. I want to give the Emoji Movie an F, but because I really like the animation and the voice acting is decent and there's actually a scene that I enjoyed in this movie, I'm not going to give it an F, but trust me, it's damn near an F. That's why I'm going to say that the Emoji Movie is definitely time lost, and that's why I'm going to give this movie a D-. As that poster says, shit happens, and this movie is a prime example of that. I know I'm probably being way too nice on this movie for giving it a D-. It definitely deserves the hate it's getting. It's lazy, it's rushed, not to mention it's the fastest produced animated movie of all time apparently, and Sony's actually happy about that. And another thing I should mention is the reason why Popeye didn't really get released is because Sony wasn't that happy with how the movie was shaping up to be, but yet they're happy about this movie, and that's why they released it. I don't get you, Sony. I really don't get you. If you're gonna stick to your Sony animation company and all that, stick to the actual quite good entertaining movies like the Cloudy with Chance Meatballs movies and the Hotel Transylvania movies, not movies like the Emoji Movie. Trust me, we're soon gonna get a movie about these. Don't take your kids to the Emoji Movie. Don't make them dumber. Take them to see Cars 3. If they already seen Cars 3, Despicable Me 3. If they already seen Despicable Me 3, again, don't make them lose brain cells. Actually make them smarter and learn about history, and take them to see Dunkirk. Trust me, Dunkirk is more entertaining than this movie ever was. I know I said I didn't want to spend much time, but I did because there's so many shit to talk about this movie. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. If you actually saw this movie, tell me what you guys thought about it in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.